of all, Zack Snyder released a new image of Batman, actually two images of Batman. He also released other images, but we're going to talk about in the next videos segments. So Zack Snyder released two Batman images, and what does this mean for the future of the DC universe? Do we have hope, guys?
Well, I do. Why not?
Yeah.
Maybe he just have those photos and decided, well, I'm just going to post them anyway. But I mean,
No.
he didn't do it for any of the other projects that he worked on. I mean, I don't see, ever released a set photo of a night owl in a suit. What was the name of the actor? I forget. From Watchmen, for example.
Yes, but we are going to discuss each
Yes.
and every one of those things and what could they mean. So Zack Snyder releases new, never before seen, or just never before seen. I'm just reading stuff that they're not there. Great. Never before seen photo of Ben Affleck's Batman costume test. So, one of the defining superhero installments in the DCU franchise became Zack Snyder's Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, serving as a critical building block for the Justice League. For the DCU movie timeline, Ben Affleck was chosen as the next actor to bring the Dark Knight to the big screen. While the franchise ended its run in 2023 with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, Snyder took to Instagram to share a never-before-seen photo of Ben Affleck during his first Batman costume test for the 2016 installment. Wow, I cannot believe that there has been like 9 years since this happened. I cannot
I
believe
can't
it.
believe that Aquaman The Last Kingdom one it was in 2023. I thought it was last year or something. That's
I just
really
can't believe it.
Jesus.
The Man of Steel filmmaker added in his post a black and white 4x5 Polaroid I took of Ben during the costume test. First time in the suit. Everything I hoped it would be. Hashtag Batman.
Batman.
So here it
Indeed.
is,
Here it
the
is.
photo. It is super cool.
Amazing.
That's an actual Batman from the comic books. It's a
An
masculine
actual
Batman.
Batman, masculine Batman with the gray and black suit, which actually Zack Snyder proved that it works on screen. I like when it's black, of course, all black, but he proved that the black and gray color palette actually works on screen, which is not so much the blue and gray one. I don't want to see that, but this one really
No,
works. And
yeah.
I was never one of the people who are actually against Ben Affleck when I heard of the casting. I was okay, that actually might work, but I was oh my god, Ben Affleck, oh no, he's not man enough. The
It
mental and
might
all the other
work.
things. It might work, and I think that everyone, okay, maybe not everyone, maybe there were still some idiots out there, but most people, when they saw him in the suit, they were sold. This is Batman. He can do it, and indeed, it's my favorite Batman.
Oh, yes,
Sorry, Michael Keaton.
absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, Michael Keaton, but this is just the comic book Batman. And before that, although the old movies are classics and all
Of
those
course.
things, those are years where the filmmakers couldn't really tap into the comic book feel. They couldn't really bring that to life because they actually tried to shy away from how the comic books feel and what they represent because it was the times. They were trying to make it not cheesy while making it cheesy, by the way, to a point. And the point is that while trying to do so, the Batman that we got with Michael Keaton is not an accurate representation of how Batman
Oh no, it's
really
not yet.
is.
By any means, yeah. It's
So
not.
it is still a version of the director trying his best to bring a character to screen while avoiding what this character is really like. That is the same case with Nolan.
Yeah. Oh.
But fast forward to today, what is better today, I mean, when it comes to Zack Snyder interpretation, of course, is that he does not shy away from the greediness and not the realism, but the true Batman feel and how Batman is. Because if you go too much into realism, we are getting the Nolan Batman
Yeah.
and we are getting the Robert Pattinson Batman, which again, it's not Batman.
It's
That's
not.
the point.
It's
You can
not.
like those movies as movies, you can like this version of Batman, but that's the thing. Version of Batman in this kind of a way, it's not actually Batman. If you want Batman, you gotta take some of the Batman representations throughout that has some kind of a essence. I mean, let's say that Batman has a few representations or developments through the years that are canon. You take one of these and you put it on screen, but it's still Batman true and true. It still has to cover and check what makes Batman Batman. Ben Affleck's Batman absolutely did that.
Absolutely, yes. Say whatever you want
Absolutely.
about the movies and things like that. We love them. We understand them. Most people didn't understand those movies. That's the problem. But that there is Batman. You know, he moves like Batman. He fights like Batman because in the other movies they could never actually do the fighting proper. And that's why when I heard, oh wait, Zack Snyder is directing that, and immediately in my head pops out this scene from Watchmen when Night Owl and Silk Spectre were fighting in the alley with not with the costumes like civilians, but they were fighting and they were breaking hands and stuff. And I say, well, that would be Batman right there. So they never did that with the other movies. Also, for example, I speaking about realism, which we do not need in BVS. There is this great shot of Batman, you know, was it in the not in the warehouse? It was like in a building where he's standing in the corner of the building, you know, like that, just like Ninja is this big imposing bat, and the police officer gets it with the flashlight, and you see Batman standing there, and I say that's right from the comic books. This is how it should be. People will say, "Oh, it's not realistic." Who said it's not? Ninjas can do that actually. He's trained for those things, and that's a shot right there that tells you, okay, he knows how to do it with the comic books and not being realistic, but still looks real. Still looks as if he can do it because, well,
We
he's
don't
Batman.
actually want realism.
No,
We want
I don't.
realism when it comes to the comic books. We want the real comic books.
That's
That
it.
type of a
That's
realism.
it. That type of realism.
True to comic book. That's what we want. What translates to screen has to do with the ability of the director to actually bring this to fruition and overcome themselves and their own ego, James Gunn, and stop putting their own pee-pee in the movie all the time. And by you know what I mean.
Yes.
So
Pee-pee.
pee-pee. So it's gonna be very funny in the 2 seconds. Yeah, if I gotta stop myself. So guys, I think to get to the bottom of this topic, of course, then that this means that I'm here. That Zack wants to tell us that I'm here.
I'm here.
I still hold dear these characters and what I did. I'm proud of my work and I'm proud of myself, no matter what some people thought. And actually, as we now know, more than 50% of the audience that showed up for the current Superman, I mean, more than 50% that, no, that's not what I meant, sorry. 50% less showed for this new Superman.
Yes, exactly.
So those 50% that made the money for those movies, they're still out there. And
they're hungry.
And they're hungry
and they
for
wanted,
what we could have. So let's continue reading this. This comes shortly after Snyder shared a new photo of Henry Cavill as Superman on October 17, 2025. And we covered this, guys, so if you want, you can see this is on the Superhero channel. Affleck portrayed the DC icon in Suicide Squad, 2017 Justice League, as well as the original version of Zack Snyder's Justice League, which he even shot new material for ahead of his 2021 release on HBO Max. The Hollywood star finished his run by coming back on the final time. Coming back one final time in the Flash movie in 2023, which was horrible.
The suit.
I mean, it was a funny scene.
The
pretty
scene
funny.
was okay. I mean, he
pretty
had a
funny.
car chase and stuff like that. That's okay, funny.
Yeah.
But man, that suit.
That suit was like Batman wearing a bra for absolutely no reason.
There are 3 releases of McFarlane toys of that figure in different colors, and the 3 of them suck because I say, man, no matter what color you put on that suit, it will just suck.
It looks like he's wearing a bra. It looks very emasculating because the shoulders are like the whole design of the shoulders, how the cape sits, everything makes him so narrow that it's unbelievably ugly. It's just horrible. He just looks like a freaking pee-pee.
Yeah.
basically. Okay. So, with the bra, pee with the
With
bra.
the
Don't imagine this.
oh boy.
Making the final time, donning the suit, Affleck was also initially set to star, direct, and write his own solo film titled The Batman, until it got what is that?
Retooled.
Retooled into a reboot of Robert Pattinson with director Matt Reeves helming it. Yes, that was absolutely a loss.
Yeah, total loss.
We could have had a real masculine Batman
Right, yeah.
solo movie for once, but
And
we never got that. We got
yeah.
the soft PP.
The soft PP.
The
Yes,
soft
the
PP
soft
Batman.
PP Batman. Yes. And also Ben Affleck proved a long time ago that he's a both great director and a great writer, so I'm sure it was going to be okay.
Yeah, he really
And
loves Batman.
He really loves Batman. Yes, he actually back in the days he said that he agreed to play Daredevil because he hoped that this will help him to play Batman someday, like to open the door that look, I can do this, so I can do the other thing.
And that actually happened.
That actually happened. You know, the guy has something like a bat cave in his house. People, you know.
Yeah.
He has I think the thing that like you get the book and the bookcase opens and there is like an exit there or something like that. Not sure entirely, but still, I'm sure he has a lot of action figures. He must be a nerd.
Oh,
like
yeah.
us. So, yeah.
And by the way, the costume does look like something made from Kevlar or something like this, which is cool. So here is like practical realism that also looks cool
Exactly.
on screen. And
Exactly, yeah.
he doesn't look like a twig like Robert Pattinson does. Absolute twig. The Cape Crusader is set to get reimagined in a new
Interconnected.
DC franchise, as DC Studios is working on Batman movie in the DC universe from director Andy Muschietti. The project is still being written and there is no release date set for the reboot yet. I really hope that crash burns and just explodes.
Totally like an asteroid, you know.
Yeah, because probably gonna be another mockery of the character. And Robin or whoever participates in that movie is going to be total mockery.
Just the sheer fact that he wants to put the whole Bat family inside speaks tons of it.
Like we live in some kind of a cheesy decade or
and
something.
Just the fact that he wants his Robin to be Damian Wayne, which is statistically proven the most hated Robin ever. But Zack Snyder likes him. It also speaks a ton, so...
Yeah, guys, we're gonna get to the comments. Just hold on, let me finish this and I'm gonna take a look at your comments. The DCU take on the Gotham hero has shown up through the animated Creature Commandos TV show, which absolutely nobody cares, nobody likes. It bombed, it's horrible, it's cynical, it's graphic, it's absolutely a degenerate piece of work, and this does not belong in DC.
But Empress, it's adult. It's adult, Empress. You don't understand it because it's adult.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. So all adults are creeps. That's the case. Oh, okay. I didn't know that because I'm not. So I don't want to see degenerate things in my
Me neither.
comic
Never
book,
wanted to see
TV
that,
shows, movies, cartoons, whatever. And if I do want to see that, which I still don't, but if it's like a good story like The Boys, and The Boys is a separate universe that's known, or Invincible, that's known for being like that I'm just going to watch that. And please keep that absolute shit separate from the true meaningful superhero world.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to see like a sanitized version of The Boys, like in all sense, because then it's not The Boys. That's what we mean. But don't turn our heroes into degenerates, you know. They just not like that. Just like in that horrible show Titans, when Robin said F Batman. You say what?
Yeah, we saw the writing on the wall when those things started to happen, because you saw that some people just don't understand superheroes, but they're giving the job of putting a show on the screen or a movie on the screen. But the only way that they can see superheroes is through a cynical lens, and then that teleports or manifests on screen like superheroes cursing, superheroes being pricks, jerks, whatever. And actually, you know what? The Ben Affleck's Batman on screen, he was an ass.
Yeah.
He was basically a jerk.
Yeah.
But that's how Batman in this stage of life is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
Batman is. Batman is not somebody to be praised a lot for his character. I mean, character as a man, because although he's trying to be good and do good, he is very messed up on the
Yeah.
inside,
Yeah.
and that was shown. That was shown because he does have a big ego, and his emotion are getting better. Are getting the better of
The
himself.
better of himself.
That is happening. So he's not some kind of a idealistic and pure. No, he's the broken, cynical guy that's trying to do good, but his ego is getting in the way. So much so that he was about to freaking kill Superman, to go
Yeah.
out of his way to kill the only hope for humanity.
Yeah.
That's how delusional he can be. But then, of course, he's smart, so also that eventually is something that will take hold of him. It will prevail, so he
Exactly.
gets to his senses. But this was shown in the movie. This was shown in BVS. So as much as people don't like BVS, there's layers upon layers of things that are true to the comic book and this do have meaning. And the other thing is that if you see there's some account on X, I forgot how it was, that when Superman came out, the new Superman, they did a lot of parody funny stuff, but they also shown comparison between the old animations with what Zack did, like literal shot by shot, similar scenes from the Superman animated series or from Justice League, that are absolutely expressed on screen in I think in Man of Steel for the most part,
In Man of
was
Steel
it?
for the most part, and some things in BVS really, but
Yeah,
most
so
of the
he
things are
literally
from Man of Steel.
watched the animations, he did his job, and he literally brought on screen,
Mm-hmm.
like in live action, those scenes that we saw in the animations, like Superman going through buildings, shot from above to, I mean, from below to above to some huge object, like stuff like that. Superman spinning around, hitting buildings. There were so many things. It was mostly about like action stuff, but still, he did his homework, and nobody will notice that or even know it if they're not people like this guy on X that
Exactly. Yeah.
actually notices things and he goes through all of that. So we can see that he actually did his job.
Yes.
But
Totally.
one final thing. So we absolutely do not think that Zack is perfect because he's
No.
not.
No. No.
He has
No.
his
Ego
own
problem.
ego issues, yeah,
Yeah.
and he tends to be a bit more cynical again when it comes to superheroes, but not as much here. I think that he definitely stopped himself.
I mean, he didn't have the full creative control like James Gunn does, so still the studio kind of get him the direction, don't be too... Because I think that Warner remembers what happened with Batman in Batman Returns when they gave Tim Burton full creative control. And Batman Returns is a great movie, I love it. But that's a Tim Burton movie with Batman inside. It's not a Batman movie, it's a Tim Burton movie. So, and things like that happened. And when you give too much of a creative control, then you have, then now I will tell you my version of the characters, which we do not need. We just want to see the great version of the characters. Which, speaking about Batman Suit, actually, that reminds me of that scene in The Flash when Wonder Woman helped him, and he was holding steal the lasso, and he told her, I would thank you, but my gigantic ego prevents me from that. Or something like that.
Wow.
So yeah, and also speaking of that, let's not forget really that this Batman there is the Batman who lost already one Robin. You got that shot of the suit of Robin, with the sign from the
With the
Joker there.
spray, yeah.
So that's the one who already have one who lost somebody who it's kind of between the normal Batman we know and the Dark Knight Returns Batman and the death in the family arc. So that's why he wasn't more cynical to those things. That's why he was thinking if there is even 1% chance of him being bad, then and that's actually the Batman who is really into his mission, who forgets himself because it's the mission.
He's also into his ass.
Into his ass, exactly. That's the one. That's the Batman who the first Robin left to become Nightwing because he told him, Bruce, I love the mission and everything, but I cannot be like you. I still want in the normal life and all the other things, and I can do it my way. That's why Nightwing is actually one of my top 5, because he understands that I can do it my way, the best way for myself. I'm happy for and thankful for everything you told me, Bruce, but I can become my own thing in my own way. It doesn't need to be in your shadow. And actually, Batman respects that. Although he was still like, well, but the mission, the criminals and superstitious lot, and yeah. And the Nightwing proved him here, Bruce, we can do it and like that and still be effective. I want a Nightwing movie, but anyway.
But anyway, that's not the
Yeah.
topic. Also, this shot of Ben Affleck's Batman looking at that suit being spray paint with what it said and all of that, that's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough.
That's enough.
It tells you everything you need to
Exactly,
know. How
exactly.
he feels, what happened,
Totally.
how damaged
his
he
face
is.
at that moment, him
Yeah.
stopping and looking at it. That's it. And
That's great storytelling.
That's the genius of that movie, that it doesn't spoon feed you everything that it has to be explained to me like in no, it is explained to you. They don't need a gigantic exposition of that.
Yeah.
They show you. You see the emotion. Even if you don't know what happens in the comic books, you see, oh, he lost somebody, and that's enough.
That's enough. You can imagine how he feels, because then everything that he does after this shows you how he feels.
Yeah, exactly.
So, don't tell. What was this?
Show, don't tell.
Yeah, show, don't tell. That's exactly what it is. So I don't know how, when we get that, people still find something to complain. But okay.
Yeah, it's because Superman didn't have his strength,
Oh boy.
The gigantic. He still had it, just on the other side. guys.
Perfect.
That's it.
Yeah, where we can see
Where we can't see it.
how he looked like he was wearing a diaper like the new Superman.
But really, also, let's talk about and how actually Snyder forgot the word, positions the photos of that. The moment you see that photo here of Batman, and or the one of Superman, and we know, well, that's Batman and that's Superman. It's not a guy putting his boot on. It's not a guy who is laughing like an ass or things like that.
It's absolute respect to the character.
There is no, people keep trying to find photos behind the scene or whatever of David Cornsweet, Superman, and it's always something goofy.
Yeah.
And there is only 1 or 2 photos that he looks epic, the one that he did this or the one that he was walking. These are the 2 that I kind of like, and if you change the suit, they will be great.
Yeah.
But there is nothing else. I saw a guy who made a collage of different photos, and on one of the photos, he's doing...
Okay.
So what is that there? You show me David Cornsweet being goofy behind the scenes, not Superman.
Yeah.
And I don't mind David. I mean, if they give him a good direction, if you take away James Gunn in his city writing, and you actually give him good material, he will be great. I don't mind him. He's actually a good actor for that. He just needs to have a better Superman. But
Yeah, the better
look at that
Superman.
photo. You see that, and he decided, okay, it's going to be black and white, and it still pops up somehow.
Yeah.
Even without the colors. Now, people made actually color for a version of those, but this also hits you hard.
It hits you hard, yeah.
It is Batman.
When you imagine how, all the costumes are going to look like from the comic book to live action, that this is it. This is the closest thing.
That's it.
And also, by the way, we have something very interesting to share that actually Logan shared with me like 2 weeks ago, but I haven't forgotten. Yes.
Okay.
So you shared with me an old footage from the 90s show of Flash.
Oh, yeah.
And how the suit was made.
Yeah.
So they basically explain that the suit, and actually we can do this as a separate topic, by the way.
Yeah.
The suit, the guys that made the suit, this was revolutionary for the time, especially for a TV show. So the actor that plays the Flash, what was his name?
John Wesley Shipp.
John Wesley Shipp. He actually had a good physique. That's what it said in the video.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show that to you when we cover this.
There were scenes of him shirtless in the TV show that you can see. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
he did the job.
And the guy, I don't know if he was the director or whoever was explaining about the suit, how it was constructed and why, explained that, well, David,
Who? The actor?
yeah,
John Wesley Shipp.
John.
John. Yeah.
Sorry, guys, it's I'm still thinking about David Cornsweet. I'm sorry, there's Superman in my head. So, John.
Yes.
Okay.
He's known as the whole thing, John Wesley Shipp. That's it.
Okay, some comedy here. So, So John had a beautiful body and all of that, which is great because it's the 90s. Maybe they would say, we
For
don't
the
need to do
90s, he
this.
was great looking, by the way.
Yeah,
They could have just put him in the suit,
he
and
was
that's it.
actually
But he
masculine.
was actually masculine.
So John had a good body, but we couldn't put a costume on him like spandex, like Christopher Reeve, because no matter how muscular you are, that disappears right now.
Totally, yeah.
You just look like a guy in a condom, basically.
A Power Ranger.
Yeah, no muscle definition almost is possible to be seen like this. So whatever he did in the gym is not even gonna matter that much. So what they did is here's an idea. Why not make a mold of his actual physique and body and create the suit around that, the fabric around this
Exactly.
mold, so he can actually look on the outside how he looks on the inside.
Exactly.
And that's the only way, the only technique that you can do this with. And it was actually more genuine in the fact that they actually used his own physique to do it. They could have used just a muscle suit that looks a certain way. It doesn't need to actually fit on the outside his body, but they actually did this back in the 90s.
Back in the
for
90s,
a
for the
TV show.
that got only one season.
That is absolutely commendable.
Yeah.
And it does explain perfectly, and it shows you that the muscle suit, it is because we have to see those heroes as they look in the comic books.
Exactly.
And if they did their job underneath and they actually have the good physique, that is how they're supposed to look like. They earned it. They earned to look
You
like
earned
that on the
yes,
outside.
Exactly.
That is the representation of the hero. That's the masculine image they have to have. And you cannot do this with a costume like David Cornsweat's costume. Because that freaking thing looks like a SpongeBob. Looks like foam. That's how it looks like. And they had to digitally remove some of the creases and folds and whatever. Which is so dumb.
Dumb. Just dumb.
So dumb.
Yeah.
So this was another attempt of James Gunn to emasculate Superman and to make him relatable. So the kids are not scared. Which kids?
Which kids? I was never scared when I saw the Flash muscular, all the others when I was a child.
I mean, when I was a kid, I loved all superheroes because they were strong, big, and muscular. That was not intimidating to me.
Exactly.
That was, for
that
me,
was the inspiration.
beautiful.
Beautiful, inspirational.
Beautiful. I drawn muscular body since I was like 6. Yeah, trying to draw the muscles and everything. Like, that's one of the most beautiful things, like the human body when it's developed. So, I mean, whether that be like a woman or a man's body, of course, woman's body should be more feminine, so muscle tone here, there, like my body is. When I train, like I'm just building and making my physique actually more feminine because I'm emphasizing all the traits that I already have, like the V taper, which and then that emphasizes the waistline, and that emphasizes the hips and all those things. Anyway,
Imagine that when I train, I make it masculine.
What?
I mean, you make it feminine, I make my masculine.
Yes.
Imagine that.
Oh, that's great.
Imagine that.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. So when I'm building my body, I'm creating more feminine physique actually, and I'm just adding to what I already have, and he's just making a better physique because he's more masculine.
Speaking about that John Wesley ship Flash, I want an action figure of that. McFarlane or Fonjoy, someone. There is only one figure made by Mattel way back in the days. It needs to be updated, please, somebody. But really, that's a great suit, that's a great show. And you know what, actually, remembering about that show, he was actually also masculine in his character.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't the, whiny Ezra Miller type or not.
Run, Barry, run.
Barry, run. Or yeah, in the TV show, where he was just the fastest man alive, but there was always someone faster.
There's always somebody faster, and
there was
they had
always
to
guy
save him.
Talking to him, they had to save him. Oh, guys, what should I do? Well, buddy, just run faster. What? And Grant Gustin actually had some muscles because he showed abs or things like that. Still super skinny. But even whatever he had couldn't pop to there with the suits or things like that. I mean, when we say the Flash, that's the body I want there, John Wesley Shipp. That's the reason that he was actually in the show. There in the new show, he played first Barry's father, then he played Jay Garrick from Earth 2. Then there was a version in which actually they combined, and he was that Flash again. And he still looked good in the suit, by the way. Yeah. A guy that was, I think, 60 or something. I don't know how old is he now. Still.
Yeah, he's just a
That's how you make suits that's how you make suit. Enough with those stupid uniforms and things like that. I mean, I'm sure that if James Gunn actually gets to do that Batman movie, it will be a freaking uniform again. Or I don't
Yeah.
know, he'll be in some kind of armor, he heads to toe or things like that. I really don't know what
It's
will
the
be.
same designer that did the Guardians of the Galaxy suits that all look like motorcycle jackets, which is great for the Guardians of the
Which is great
Galaxy.
because that's their suits in the comic books. Yes, they
Yeah,
look like that,
but
and you
that
say, "Oh,
designer
perfection,"
is
but
not to
not
make a
for Superman.
Superman
Yeah.
costume. Okay, guys. So enough with this. This is great, but yeah, enough of this topic. We gotta move to the next topic. So let us know what you think in the comments. It's very important, guys, and definitely watch the next thing.
Yeah.
So let us check on the comments real quick, and then we're going to move on to the next
We have a
topic.
lot. Hey, Slave Baby Games.
Slay
Hi,
every
Slave.
game. Hi to you. Okay, let's see. Go. Bear with us, guys.
Roadkill says, "Mod me and I'll release all the animals in my trunk or something like that." You
Oh,
have it. Here you go.
Okay. You got
Release the animals and the Snyder cut again, I suppose.
You got it. You got it. And hi, by the way, to King's
Portco.
Portco.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, Suka, Sibru. Oh yes. Okay,
I
guys.
think they had a discussion with Suka about something.
The Bat family took many years and many tragedies to poorly set up and establish each character. The sheer audacity of skipping all the Robins and Batgirl just to go straight to Damien is criminal.
Exactly, Suka. You can do the Bat family, but you first have to establish all the connections with those people and all the tragedies, and it doesn't need to. They're not going to be there to goof around, you know. But James Gunn will do exactly that. They'll goof around. Robin will bring pizza into the Batcave probably and say "Cowabunga, Batman," and what? Something
Yeah,
like that.
goofball.
Goofing around, yeah.
That this universe is not about goofing around. Marvel universe, you can goof around there.
Yeah.
You go goof around
Totally.
there. Just
Yeah.
don't do this to DC because this is different and it's supposed to be different. It's the original universe that started everything. All the superheroes just came after that. Marvel came after that.
Yeah,
So please don't do it. Heroes are supposed to give hope. They're supposed to represent something more than a mere human or just being regular. It's supposed to be the exact opposite of that, and they're supposed to be serious so we can take them serious and have some inspiration from them. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yes, King Portco, you're right about Batman Returns. That's what makes it awesome, that it's a Tim Burton movie. Still another Batman movie, otherwise I love it. Superman is a Boy Scout.
Actually, no. That's a cliche by this
That's
point.
a cliche from the 60s, even the 30s and all the other things.
I mean, it's no, because it simplifies who Superman actually is, and it's a common misconception that has been repeated throughout many generations because of Christopher Reeve's movie.
Yeah, totally because of that. Which was the version of Superman that was in the comic book from the 60s and the 70s.
That's not Superman.
But that's not the whole picture. Don't forget, that's never the whole picture.
It is a part of Superman when it comes to the fact that he is extremely a good person and his moral compass, integrity, and just overall being an awesome, being. It's what makes him actually have a restraint and not use his full powers to be an evil guy and to just kill everything and everyone.
Yeah, which he was never that evil or brooding in the Man of Steel. I don't know why when people see that actually. So
people just don't understand that this Superman was Superman, but the difference is that not that he is different, the world around him is different. That was the whole point of the movie, that if you put Superman in an actual, a bit more realistic world where people are tired and cynical, they have been exposed to all kinds of fake news, not genuine anything, politics, disgusting stuff all around them, and all of a sudden they see a superhuman being that wants to be good, that did whatever he can to be good, and he was not wanted. He was not understood. He went on a trip. He grew a beard.
Which he did also in the comic books of Man of Steel from John Byrne when he went on a trip to try out his powers without having a suit and things like that, save a plane. And he had appeared in some shots.
Yeah,
You
so
know.
that's basically just to show you that he is trying to be himself, but still he didn't want to intrude on the world
Yeah.
because he did feel unwanted. But still, he didn't say, "I'm gonna now be very angry and destroy everything because nobody understands me." No, he was still his own person trying to do good in the shadows until he can finally show himself and see that he has to actually show himself, no matter how the world sees him, because it's more important for him to do his duty, to use his powers for good and to save humanity, even if it doesn't want to be saved, because that is who he is. So the Boy Scout part is very vanilla, and it's not actually,
It's not the whole representation of the
yeah, it
character.
does not talk about his complexity as a character, what he goes through when when everybody are being cynical towards him, how he hurts the cries of many people and animals in the world, that he always tries to do whatever to help, but how this tortures him inside, and how huge weight he has on his shoulders. So if he didn't have the strength of character that is much greater than his power, actually, he would just become a suicidal and homicidal maniac and just kill everything
And
and
he
everyone.
still did the right thing in the movie, as we say. So King's Portal, do watch our video about that, about the Man of Steel. It's our first video on that channel that we did. So I think you get it. We do comparisons between the this Superman and the Christopher Reeve. So you will see it really, really, really good. I understand you. You say, where was that comment? To me, I think it went on a bit up. You said that to you he's a Boy Scout because that's how you read it as a child, but that's not the full character. I also read that part as a child, in the 60s or the 70s. I also my very first meeting with Superman was in those 1940s Fleischer cartoons, which was pretty much he just said this looks like a job for Superman, and he goes and does his thing, and you know nothing about the character, just he has those powers, and they were inconsistent in that cartoon, by the way. But anyway, but anyway, but we can't judge by the character just by the versions that we grew up with, because he does develop.
Yeah.
We can't say I had a friend who once I told him we were talking about Flash Thompson, from Spider-Man, and he said, now he was a war veteran, he lost his legs, he became Agent Venom, and he said, "What? When did he do that? Wasn't he a college student that was an American football player?" And he said, "Yeah, many years ago, but he does develop." So he's not only that, and that, yeah, the versions that we have as children, they have to be your reading subs in the early 90s. Okay, yeah, Kingsport, but again, the 90s are actually not very good period for comic books, because everything was kind of extreme to the point, especially when he turned him into the electrical Superman. That's horrible. But you have to get that version that you started as a child. This should be your starting point, but then on to dig deeper into the character, dig deeper, just get the shovel and say, okay, but now let's see deeper into what this character is all about, not just to stay in this position. This was me as a child. Otherwise, I would never know things about the Ninja Turtles, for example, because most people say, "Oh, those goofy green guys in the cartoon." Yeah, but do you know how much deeper it is if you get to the comic books and the whole history? If you want to judge, not to judge, to be able to speak about the character in his full potential, you must dig through, and see. Okay, so these are different versions now, but now let's see which one is the full character of that. Because some people say, hell, to me, Superman is the electrical Superman when he splits into two parts and he's blue and red, just because I saw that as a child. Should you stay there? No, you should dig deeper, 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 deeper. As the Empress gave me one example, actually, it should be like Iron Man when he was doing that.
Oh yes, yes. So yeah, you know how Iron Man, he has this small thingy that looks like something square.
Like a square, that the
It's
hologram
it's a
thingy.
hologram
Yeah.
thingy, and then he just does this, whoop,
Mm-hmm.
and it spreads like a planet, but you can see in it everything. So right now, a lot of people about Superman are like this little thing, the hologram, and they only see this. They don't actually see what is inside because they didn't do this
Yeah,
how he
they
does
didn't
it.
develop it fully. They stayed either with what I read as a comic book or what I watch in the cartoons or what I watched as a movie. That's why still some people will stay with, you know, as a child I watched the Christopher Reeve Superman, and that to me is a Superman. Great starting point. Great starting point. But still not the full character, you know.
Yes, I mean you could not be that interested in general in Superman, but what we are trying to say is that if you didn't do this, if you didn't do the
The flip
thing
thing,
to
yes.
actually take a look at who he is, truly take a look at who he is, you actually never know. So your
Yeah.
opinion's always going to be based on 1% out of 100,
Yeah.
which is just not
That's
objective.
how I was back in the days about Cyclops, by the way. So I can give you that example how I changed that. Because I'm a Wolverine guy and I was always, you know, oh, Wolverine is better here. So he's always in the spotlight. And, you know, Cyclops is kind of a Boy Scout. Ah. But then one day I watched the cartoon and say, but let's see how is it in the comic books. If you watch the movie, Cyclops is totally bastardized there, you know. Wolverine just pushes him aside and
He's
he
like a
takes
beta
the spotlight.
male.
The absolute beta male. But if you actually get into the comic book and the X-Men cartoon shows that really good, and even X-Men 97, you see the leader, you see, oh, that's why Cyclops is the leader, actually. He has those qualities. Wolverine cannot be the leader. I hate when they do Wolverine leader in comic books and in
He's
cartoons.
just
I
not
just
that
hate that.
guy.
He's not that guy.
He's very
He cannot do
introverted.
it. No,
He's very
he just
introverted. He can't do
no,
it.
it's not for him. And every time it shows that it's not for him. But then I went, you know, full comic book mode, full reading about Cyclops. Let's see. I dig through it and I say, okay, now I understand. He's actually really cool, Cyclops, you know. And he doesn't deserve what Wolverine does to him. I like, Wolverine, you go and attack this one. We'll go. No, I will do whatever I want, Bob.
Yeah.
Just shut up, man, and you
He's an
know.
ass. He's
Yeah.
an ass. I mean, love him, but he's an ass.
We love him, but he's an ass, yes.
Okay, well, thanks, King. Thanks that at least you can hear us out. Okay, let's continue to the next topic, guys, which is actually... Sorry. Ooh, that was from another thing.
Are we doing that now?
No. We are not. Let me remove this because there's too many things. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna bring it
You're
up.
right, Suka. Gargoyles is amazing show.
Okay, let me just switch. Let's switch and we can continue because we do have more and it's not like we have endless time here, so we gotta keep it together, guys.
Keep it tight. Yes.
Okay, so this was the next picture that Zack released. I think this was the second picture, and of course, is Batman in his nightmare
Nightmare mode.
nightmare mode suit.
Post-apocalyptic Batman as well.
And look at how badass it is, and just contrast this type of picture to the Superman, getting his boot in. I'm sorry, trying to put on his boot or take it off,
Take
and
it
the
off,
picture that freaking James Gunn showed us. This is respect. How this is framed,
total
how this is
respect, yeah.
this is respect to the character.
Absolutely.
It shows Batman tired, maybe brooding. He's about to do something that he doesn't want to do, but he's gonna do it anyway. In this nightmare scenario where Superman is evil and all those things, you see him just down on his luck and just put into this horrible situation. His back is against the wall metaphorically, and he just has to put on this outfit, so to speak, on his costume and fight. So this picture tells us that his face is in the shadow, which is amazing photography to just present that his whole soul and his inner being is in darkness. So this means a lot, actually. A lot of things you can draw from this picture.
This is also a man who just we don't know how long ago it happened, but this is the man, this is the Batman that actually lost his friend, you know, not in being dead, but in the thing that actually he has to fight Superman, who here became evil because of Lois Lane and things like that. Especially, essentially, the Injustice one version, and you can see that he doesn't like what we have to do. That photo there tells you everything. Even the whole face is into the shadow.
Yeah, like I
It
said,
just
it
shows
shows that his soul is in absolute darkness
totally.
because
Yeah,
the inner, you see how the
yeah, the
jacket, the long
jacket, the coat.
jacket is like showing the outline of his body, but inside everything from here down is black, like fully black, which shows exactly that and goes, of course, it goes through his leg because basically, if you look at the middle, like I mean, below his belly, his whole leg, the other leg is in darkness, which is like shining the darkness like outwards. That's how
Yeah,
you can see this
yeah.
to such an extent that this is just what he is. He's dead inside. That's death. That's death.
Just before you have to cut this, but I have to say it now. Yasto, we do see we do the things as for the video later. That's why we address the comments later. Okay,
Yeah,
we will make Dan a mod. We see,
I
don't
made
worry.
that mod.
Dan?
Done.
Here in the superhero.
Ah,
Here is
the
Dan. Here is
done.
Dan.
Oh no,
Yes.
I made the
Yeah.
molecule mode.
Otherwise, we see us. We're just going to address in the end, but we'll cut this.
Yeah, we
Of
can.
course, you earned it. Here is Dan. You earned it a long time ago. So here you go.
Here you go, here you go. Yes, but the problem, Yasto, is that I have to then find this where we talked about it and cut it out, which is going to make everything
Otherwise, we watch the whole
much
time.
longer
Don't
than
worry.
it should be as a process. So we can just stop and comment like that.
So yeah, this Batman, as we say here, really, that photo there also shows you why this Batman uses guns. And it's not because again he wants to. It's because of the situation he's put in. You cannot not use it.
He's basically going full blown military Batman here because he has to actually switch the way that he does things because it's ride or die.
Yeah, exactly.
This time there's no not killing rule, whatever. The world
The world is dying. The world
the
is
world
dying.
is dying. He has to kill freaking parademons. It doesn't matter they're evil. They're not even like real sentient beings, basically.
Exactly,
They're
yeah,
just
yeah.
copy paste spawns of Darkseid's ass. So
Basically, that's what
Yeah.
they are. Yeah.
so there is no restraint should be applied. Nothing should be censored. Everything has to be immediate action. It has to be effective because if you're not, you die. So this also represents this. He cannot be the Batman that he wanted to be, the romantic version of that.
Exactly. Also, as I said, he lost his friend to the dark side. And uh, and now also the whole world lost that beacon of hope that is Superman. Of course, the other characters will get more brooding and things like that. They really have to fight the hope that actually turned evil. This is like Darth Vader.
It's now the death.
It's now the death, yeah, exactly. It's now the hope is dead, and that shows you really really good what can happen if actually Superman stops showing the strength.
Also,
Yeah,
it shows that Batman is powerless. The way that he's sitting here,
Yeah.
he's powerless. He will do whatever to help the situation, but he knows that he's absolutely powerless. And he's just given up by this
Exactly.
point. He's gonna fight to his last breath. He's gonna give his all like usual, but he knows that he's powerless. He feels powerless, and that's it. He has no hope, but he will do his best. That's what this means.
That also shows you why Zack Snyder again, whatever to say whatever you want about. He's not a great writer. We hate his writing.
Yes.
And his original projects.
He sucks. Yeah.
But otherwise, he's a great cinematographer. And that shot there exactly shows you, as we say, the powerlessness. He understands how to position characters and things. A long time ago, I watched a video about that how important is in cinema or in a movie to position a chair. To
Yeah.
position it on a character so that you know what actually the character feels and what the chair means. That's what we see there. He knows how to do it. This is how you do cinematography. This is how you reveal your character to the world, not by putting him, it's Monday and I have to put my boot on and go to work thing.
Yeah. F that.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So last thing that I want to say about this, then we move on to the next image. is that showing meaning with different shots, show, don't tell, and showing so much meaning in one single shot is what Zack Snyder does every time. So he sucks as a writer, but as a visionary and telling his story in a visual way by positioning all the possible shots in the correct manner, this is what makes his movies so compelling. This is the subtext that if you cannot see, it's going to go way over your head,
Yeah.
and you're never actually going to assimilate or understand these movies as movies that actually have a lot of meaning in each shot. That's what makes his movies strong. It's not really his writing, because once again that's horrible, but when it comes to telling a story with visuals, he's like one of the very best because he pours his heart and soul in this visual storytelling. And to me, that's amazing because when I watch his movies, when I first time I watched Man of Steel, and I saw how he's sent to Earth. That scene with Jor-El and Lara, they put him in the ship. Everything was made in such a way, it was so emotional, and I was like, this is how special Kal-El is. You get the idea how special he is just from this scene.
Wait,
It was amazing.
you mean to tell me that you don't like seeing them in just a random message speaking Kal-El, and that they want him to make a harem?
Yeah,
No emotions right there? Oh.
no, I don't want to see degeneracy.
No.
I can watch Invincible if I want to see Vertramites telling their
Right.
sons that they should conquer other planets
I
and put
think
their seed into everything.
I think that Robert Kirkman has a thing with men with mustaches or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
So no.
So no.
Basically,
Yeah.
if you rewatch now Man of Steel, based on everything that we just told you, the breakdown of the visual style and everything, you can actually see more storytelling, more than you
Totally.
thought before.
Yeah.
It's not just, I mean, the way that freaking camera is placed every time, it's very impactful emotionally.
It actually the battle there with Zod inspired a friend of mine who is a writer. He writes fantasy books. He loves Man of Steel for some reason. He hates BVS.
I don't understand that.
Right?
I mean,
Yeah,
the movie
me
was
neither.
prematurely released. We shouldn't have the story now.
Yeah.
But other than that, as a movie that stands on its own, it is what it is.
Yeah,
It showed this
he
conflict
hates it
and
because
why.
Superman dies, and I tell him, man, this is what happens in the comic. There's literally the death of Superman. No, he's dead. They kill him. They kill my hero. I say, okay.
Of course, that he's gonna
Anyway.
come back. I mean, at the end, you see the freaking dirt rising from the
Yeah,
coffin. That's enough.
Yeah, and also
That's enough.
freaking Henry Cavill had a contract for the Justice League. Anyway, but that movie, so that fight scene there inspired him for a great fight scene that he writes in one of his books because I read it. You know, between the main character, it's a fantasy book, but it's a main character. One is a vampire who actually turns good, and he has powers, and the villain was again something like a vampire thing. I don't remember really. But the way he describes it, you know, buildings are falling down, they're flying, they're punching. And when I read it, and I asked him, man, this is Man of Steel right there, right? And he said, yes, of course. I love that battle scene, so I put it there and say, great. So Zack actually inspired him for that, and he did it perfectly. And it's again his own way. It's his writing, but it's inspired by all that battle.
And a lot of those, a lot of that fighting and shots, like I've said, this is actually taken from the animations directly.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
Totally.
So we had destruction of buildings long before people decided to live their little pretentious pinky
Nobody
of
said a thing back
aristocrats.
then. Nobody,
As they know.
yes, shaking their glass of red wine.
We can't have that.
Yeah, but you know about the buildings, man. Nobody said a thing in Avengers when the freaking Shatari
Just went through everything.
It went through everything.
Like it's
Nobody said a thing.
like it's popcorn.
Nobody said a thing then. Buildings
Nobody.
were falling down in cartoons too, in Superman the animated series,
It's
in
a
the
battle
Justice League.
scene.
You know, it's a
a
battle scene. Yeah.
And then they talk about how the city has to rebuild and we are sad and it's a day of memorial or whatever.
Yeah.
That's how they showed it in freaking Avengers movie.
Exactly.
That's how it is. That's how it's going to be if we actually have these people fighting. So Zack Snyder went out of his way to create this island in BVS so they can fight there.
Yeah.
So God forbid, a building falls.
Oh boy, this is like in Dragon Ball when they dubbed it into English and they say the science destroyed the whole city and they say good thing it was Sunday and the city was empty. And they say the people, where did all the people go in Sunday? What? Everybody goes to vacation or what? That's just stupid.
Yeah, nobody can afford
How you
to go to vacation
how
like
you make a
everybody.
whole city, go there? By that logic, okay, when Godzilla goes to Tokyo, he has to be, sorry,
Sorry, oh no!
your car, no, sorry,
Stepped
the
on
building,
somebody's toes.
so, hey,
Oh,
King Kong, let's not fight here, but go to this island over there. There are no people on that island. We can fight there, right? Yeah.
I'm so angry at you,
I'm
Zod.
so angry at you,
But
yes.
now we gotta move
We
on
gotta
to
move
the
on.
next
Yes.
island. That's where all the superheroes
Yeah,
fight.
that's going to be exactly Dragon Ball there. Hey Vegeta, let's actually go to another place. Let's go to Antarctica to fight there. Okay, Goku, yeah.
But they're gonna make an earthquake from Antarctica because
Right,
it's a pivotal
right.
point in the
Yeah.
planet, and then everybody gonna suffer. All the planet,
Anyway,
the rest of
yes.
the planet. Anyway. Okay, guys. Okay. I mean, this is very fun, but we do have to continue. So this is about this picture. Tell us, of course, in the comments what you think, and yeah, which number of Batmans is this Batman for you? Is it number one for you? Is it number two? Is it number three? Just let us know in the comments. You can check some of the chat
comments.
real quick. We have to keep it still tight.
Suka says, this is the closest thing we will ever actually get to the live action Thomas Wayne Batman, isn't it? We might still get it, but don't forget the main audience doesn't know all that much about the Thomas Wayne version from Flashpoint. So it's like if you decide to do a Batman Beyond movie with Terry McGinnis, it will be for us, the fans. The general audience would not know because not that many people actually watch the cartoon. So also not that many people read the Flashpoint comic book or watch the animated version of it. I actually have a friend that read the comic book a month ago by my recommendation again. So it needs to be like that. It needs to be something popular. So maybe someday we'll get that version, but it has to be connected somehow in another Flashpoint movie or something like that, which if we do it again, they have to keep those big stories really after many movies. Otherwise it will be like we make 2 movies and then all of a sudden we say, okay, and now Flashpoint, because it's a big story in comic books. Do it after 5 movies or something. Establish the characters. Otherwise we'll have again the Dark Phoenix saga all over again, which they did twice. Bad. Second time was worse. Actually, kind of. These are stories that you cannot afford to show at the beginning. You have to establish your character. You cannot show how Jean Grey turned into the Phoenix and how powerful she is before you establish Jean Grey as a character. If she's just a cardboard cutout there, the one with red hair that has telepathy and the 2 guys love her there, yeah. Why would you care?
Yeah, this is all that directors see these days, like the absolute surface level of superheroes or characters.
So yeah, I do want to see Thomas Wayne, but they really have to establish all sorts of other things before that.
And hi to Nate's Memes, who says the fact that Zack generated more hype posting a few pics than Guns has the entire time he's been at DC shows how many people still want to see Snyder produce more DC content.
And that also how many people actually have a good taste.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Again, we are limited in time, so we gotta keep it together and continue. So the next picture that Zack Snyder posted is of John Manganiello. Yes, as Deathstroke. And isn't this badass? Isn't this badass?
This is badass indeed, yeah.
And what does this picture represent? If I have to do an analysis, and
and you have to.
Yes, I will.
Yes.
Okay, so if you know the character of Deathstroke, well, he's a manly guy, very manly guy, extremely skilled, that is super damaged by what happened to him previously. And putting him into this very narrow space with the walls so close together speaks of how he feels inside. This is how he feels inside. He feels that he's pressed from all sides and he has to do bad things. I mean, he has to express himself this way because the only thing that's left of him is the bat, basically. And his costume looks like it's made from a lot of pieces. That's just how it looks like because it's black and white, but it's also how it is. It's made from a lot of pieces, which is a lot of pieces of his freaking soul. basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is how he
That's
is.
a broken man right there.
That's a broken man with a ton of skills.
Mm-hmm.
So this is super manly. Its respect to the character shows actually a lot of complexity that this character represents just in one freaking picture.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that even people that cannot analyze photos like I can,
Mm-hmm.
subconsciously you can see this. That is not only good photography, this is meant to mean something. And over his head, you see this reverse pyramid shape that is all in black, which is another symbolic, symbolism for the opposite of goodness is the reverse pyramid. It's also many other things. It has to do with negativity and basically like evil streaming inside of him, kind of a thing. This is also going, like on the walls. I mean, this blackness. So all of that, although maybe it seems very far-fetched to you, whoever makes these photos, they want this. And
Exactly.
all the elements of the suit also, when they make these suits, and especially how Zack Snyder works and what he wants to see, brought to screen, he wants to see the suits representing that hero or that villain. So this is what he did here to me. This is what it is, because
Yeah.
this just perfectly aligns with his character in every
Exactly.
single way.
Yeah.
When you know who Deathstroke is, how he thinks, how he feels, what he went through, this is the absolute manifestation of his character from the comic books manifested on screen. This is it.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the understanding of the character. Unlike that version in that the cartoon. What was it? My Adventures with Superman, in which they made him some younger guy there.
So soy.
Yeah.
So
A
soy.
younger guy who just was like a higher gun or something like that. And I have a friend who likes that cartoon, and he say I especially like Slade because he's not portrayed as a, that's the same friend with the book, because he's not portrayed as just an angry uncle. And I say, man, you know nothing about the characters, do you? Yeah. Anyway, he's not an angry uncle, but anyway, he had to do horrible things in comic books, by the way. And I do like it when he's kept as the villain, because he becomes a villain. There is no redemption for him, actually. Unlike what they did in the Arrowverse, which he appeared. Manu Bennett played
Manu
him.
Bennett was so cool though.
He was cool. Yeah, I'm
he-
getting to he was cool in the second season, especially when they reviewed him in the mid finale of the season that he's actually the villain. They say, "Whoa, that's Slade over there," you know. And then after that, he in the third season and fourth, and he became good. And I say, "Oh."
Yeah, it's not
Oh,
supposed to happen.
but it was a great Deathstroke, though, you know. So we could have two great Deathstrokes
Yeah,
for the.
they actually look alike. They both have very good structure of their face. They're both manly. Manu Bennett also played in Spartacus, which I hate with a passion because it's like the most degenerate show ever.
He was here in Bulgaria.
Oh yes, he was here in Bulgaria. Nobody knew. We miss him. He was actually in the middle of Sofia.
Yeah.
Anyway, and he was in Xena Warrior Princess back in the day. That is how he started. So yeah, handsome
yeah.
guy, really talented. But yeah, that's what we got.
John Manganiello would be great. Really, he is Deathstroke, as they say in the photos. He is Deathstroke indeed. I would have wanted to see that. I would have wanted to see was he going to be in the Batman movies with Ben Affleck? Would be great. You know, he's not a typical Batman villain, but he became this overall. He was Teen Titans villain most of the time, but he became this overall threat. So he can be actually anyone's villain there, you know. He fits for a Batman villain, though, you know. Great versions of it. If you haven't watched, guys, if you haven't watched the cartoon, Beware the Batman, which is a very underrated cartoon. There is a great version of Slate over there too, that is greatly shown as Deathstroke, and of course the Teen Titans show from 2000 something, I forget which one.
And by the way, some people do confuse him with Deadpool sometimes.
because Deadpool was created based on that. I mean, Rob Liefeld said it many times that he just basically copied it. The name is he's called Slade Wilson. Deadpool is Wade Wilson. He was a mercenary initially, so Rob Liefeld basically created that. He copied it. It's no secret. Everybody knows that. Joe Kelly was the one who actually made Deadpool different by making him the goofball and giving him the voice and the voice in his head. But before that, originally he was a copy of that guy right there. So
Deathstroke, Deadpool.
all fans of Deadpool, you wouldn't have that if it wasn't Deathstroke.
Yeah,
Ask
exactly.
Rob Liefeld, he'll say it.
But Zack Snyder really did a great job making him so different than Deadpool
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's a great
totally.
style. It's
They
a
are
great
different.
style.
They are
So
different.
guys, let us know what you think about this. Write in the comments, and of course, see our other takes on the other pictures that Zack Snyder released. But this
Yeah.
is amazing.
Okay, let's see some comments after that.
Yes.
Suka Marikas, but Rebel Moon is a masterpiece, right, guys? I mean, no?
No, we actually don't like it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like at all.
yeah.
I mean, we tried to watch it, but we were highly disturbed, so we just didn't.
No, that's a Zack Snyder writing right there, you know,
That's why we don't
not
like his
something cool.
writing.
Yeah, that's why we
He
don't like
could
it.
be very. He always likes to show these ape scenes, women being attacked in some way. I don't like that.
That's how it happens in 300 when
He put that scene
the
there,
scene, yeah,
and
when
that
the
was not in the comic
ape
book.
the queen. That's not in the comic book. It's nowhere there. I was reading through the comic book to see is that actually here. Did I forget it? No, it's not there. So sorry. You know,
Yeah.
Teen Titans. Suka says Teen Titans Slate was way better written than it had any right to be. Totally, that's one of the best versions of Slate, and he was called just Slate because they couldn't use the word Deathstroke. But anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, guys,
Yeah.
so last thing we want to quickly talk about and touched upon this picture of Rorschach.
What does it mean, George? What does it mean?
Basically, guys, of course, this is from Watchmen, the first movie that Zack Snyder actually tipped his toes into superheroes and supervillains and whatever. And Watchmen, since then, actually went through the whole comic book series. I did see the movie when I was super young. I shouldn't see that as a kid at all. Because it was super disturbing to me. I didn't like it. I thought it sucked monkey balls. But right now, I mean, since I actually read the comic book and I watched the movie again,
Didn't you watch the what was the motion comic
yes,
thingy?
I
It
watched
was
the
that, yeah. I sent you
yeah,
that, yeah.
I watched the motion comic book and it was super great, super impactful. Then I understood what Zach really did with Watchmen and with these
Totally.
characters, and it's absolutely a brilliant adaptation. This is one of the most accurate adaptations that you can ever see from actually a full comic book series
Yeah, yeah.
brought to life in one movie. That's very long, of course, movie, but through and through,
It's a
this
long
was
comic
Watchmen.
book.
Yes, a long comic book. This was Watchmen. He uh, he took such a care and attention to detail. Each character was fleshed out like
Yeah,
they were supposed to be in the comic books. They were all
exactly.
represented like they were. They all looked as close as possible to the comic book version. He even went so far that we saw full frontal of Dr. Manhattan, which
Which we
was
see in the comic book.
which we see in the comic. He
Yeah.
went so far.
He went so far,
He went
yes.
such a detail. So at least we know, even if you don't like Zack Snyder, because we don't like him as a writer, but as a director we do like him
He's great, yeah.
because he takes care and respect. He shows respect every time. He shows respect to the characters. He brings them to life. Like he's so good to just take an essence, take a character, and just put them on screen.
Yeah, yeah.
He's so good. And Watchmen is like one of the best examples of his work here. So visually, he was the perfect guy for the job. In terms of meaning, perfect guy for the job.
Totally,
That's
yeah.
Watchmen.
Also, I would argue that he made the suits look way better in the movie than in the comic books, because in the comic book they're just,
Yeah.
you know.
This is
Yeah,
how
yeah.
AI
So,
nowadays, when you show an AI like a drawing and the AI makes it like in real life, how it would look in real life or something like that. You can actually do this now, but this is the closest thing before you actually got AI. But if you put like, let's say Rorschach in AI, that's what AI is gonna come up with probably because it's logical that in live action he would look this way.
yeah, yeah.
The other thing that we have to address, which is the elephant in the room, there's actual elephant in the
There is
room.
an elephant in the room.
Yes, there
Is
is.
it behind the curtain there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the actual elephant in the room, guys, in this case is why did Zack Snyder release this picture after the Man of Steel pictures? Because this seemed like it's going to invalidate what he just did with the other pictures, because it kind of seemed that he just releases pictures from his DC
Yeah,
projects
not that it
before.
means something like, hey, I'm back or something. Just
Now when
yeah,
he released this, it kind of
yeah.
means like, well, I'm just releasing pictures. What are you guys talking about?
Could also,
But
yeah.
I have a
Oh, you
suggestion.
have a suggestion?
Yes, I
Nice.
still have to develop my thesis here. But I think that the other pictures of Superman and Batman and Deathstroke could still mean the same, that maybe he wants to make a pitch to the future owners of Warner Brothers
I was going to say exactly that.
to
Okay.
show and prove that
Sorry, don't have
that there's interest still in this universe. So he's gonna be ready with proof when this DC Warner Brothers thing actually, I mean, when Warner Brothers actually gets sold to somebody, he has a pitch already ready to be there. And then after that, he kind of deflects because he's not sure. He doesn't want to like give us like false hope. He deflects with this picture,
Yeah.
and he's like, actually, well, you see, I just post pictures. I'm not doing anything here. I'm
and it
not
could
trying to pitch
be,
anything.
but
No.
it also could be, as you said, just hey, remember what I did with that movie? So
Also, but
here
I
you
do
go.
think this is a deflection, basically. Like,
That's a good
don't
point.
get
Yeah,
your hopes
yeah. Don't
up,
get your hopes up. I just have
because
photos,
I
guys.
just have photos, but in reality, I have
Yeah,
actually proved that interest, because he did broke the internet when he released all of those
exactly,
pictures.
exactly. Yeah, that should show to whoever buys Warner Brothers. People are interested in that. And let's see what we have. Oh, we have James Gunn who lost money and nobody watches his thing.
And actually,
Okay.
Zack didn't.
And actually, Zack didn't. Yeah,
Actually,
no
Zack
matter what
didn't.
people say, Zack, yes, they are so. Well, BVS and Man of Steel are flops. What?
They're not. They just didn't perform as Marvel movies did.
Exactly.
Because they were more
Yeah.
niche.
Yeah.
And they were not. It was different
They
times.
were
People
not
were used to the comedy.
spoon feeding you what happens on the screen.
Yeah.
You actually need things to understand there.
Yeah, people were just very surface level, and they still are very surface level. So what Marvel did was still quality, but still surface level in comparison to what Zack tried to do, with all the hidden and all kinds of meanings and greediness. In the other movies, the contrast was too big, and the general audience didn't get it. But the movies were profitable. They just were not profitable as Marvel movies. But guess what? Current DC universe is 50% less profitable.
Yeah.
50% less.
Yeah.
That's how the Superman movie is. That's
I
50%.
mean, even flicking Captain America 4 Brave New World did more money actually.
Yeah,
than
and to
Superman, which has to just tell you a lot,
yes, and to explain why am I saying 50% less profitable? Well, first of all, just to mention before I forget, the freaking creature commandos flopped, the freaking peacemaker flopped, and they totally lost money with that. But then we have the main guy, Superman, losing actual money around $40 million. And when you adjust for inflation, the movie lost money. When you compare the ticket prices, the ticket prices of Superman 2025 are double more expensive than what ticket prices were back then for Man of Steel. So this means literally that 50% more people went to Man of Steel and made a bit more money still than Superman 2025. But the only reason that Superman 2025 is close to that number of Man of Steel is because the tickets were 2 times more expensive. But also, tickets sold in terms of number is also 2 times less than what Man of Steel has. So the interest for the new movie, the new franchise, the direction of James Gunn is 50% less than what it used to be with Zack Snyder's universe. So hate it or love it, these are the numbers.
Also,
and interest is still there for Zack Snyder's
also
movies.
merchandise for those movies sold way better, because all the figures from the new Superman, even the ones that are more to kids and general public, still stay there being peg warmers. Even here in Bulgaria, we have some of them. We have the Spin Masters figures that are 6 inches. I still see the freaking Superman figure stays there. Usually, the main character is the one that people buy the most.
Of
But every
course.
time I have a chance to go to one of those toy shops and see, Superman is still here. And even my son said, "Hey, Superman is still here. Why nobody buys him?" And I said, "Because he's this Superman." You know,
It's super soy.
but that wasn't the case, and people still produce figures. Companies still produce figures from the Zack Snyder universe. There are still Man of Steel figures that
Are upcoming right
that
now
are upcoming
from InArt and Joy Toy.
Yeah, even freaking McFarlane is going to do a re-release of his horrible Henry Cavill
Horrible
figure.
Henry
I
Cavill,
hope that
yes.
he does it better. But even he knows, and every time those things actually sell, when it's Ben Affleck's Batman, when it's Henry Cavill Superman, when it's Gal Gadot Wonder Woman. Well, Aquaman not so much, but you know.
Aquaman.
And yeah, and man. But from that movie, nobody's buying Superman. Nobody's buying a freaking Hammer of Boravia. Because there is a figure of that. There is a freaking figure of that. The guy who appears for 2 minutes in the movie and it turns out to be
Yeah.
Ultraman. Nobody buys the Ultraman figures. Nobody buys the Lex Luthor figures.
I mean, freaking James Gunn even managed to make Ultraman nobody.
Basically,
And he's not actually nobody.
Yeah,
He's
he's
actually
not
a lot
actually
more.
nobody.
He's the opposite of Superman. He has powers from the Red Sun. He's one of the most evil guys in the
You
whole
know,
universe ever created.
To me, it would make more sense if it actually was Bizarro under the mask. Because you could
this
say,
is
that's a
Bizarro,
failed
yeah.
clone right there. I couldn't
Yeah.
perfect it. That's
He
right there.
basically took Bizarro
Yeah.
and called him Ultraman.
Called him.
That's what happened, which
Yeah.
is a travesty, like a
Yeah.
total insult.
But guys, you know, in the second movie, he might return as Bizarro. Yeah, but we don't know that, do we? Do we have to wait for the second movie
We
for that?
went
We
in a
don't know.
black hole. I doubt
He
that.
went in a black
Superman
hole.
already said that he's not gonna survive this for some
Yeah.
reason.
But nobody said, well, but this Superman killed him, just like, you know, the snapping the back. Why nobody's saying that then?
Yeah, why nobody's complaining about
Why
that?
nobody's complaining now?
Because if Superman said that this gonna kill him, it means it's gonna kill his clone. So basically, Superman pushing him to the black hole, he knows that that's gonna kill him.
Exactly.
But nobody cares. Nobody mentions it. And by the way, Superman's 2025 costume is as soft as our hoodies.
Yeah, and as soft as he himself, because he's a big softy, that guy. You know?
Yeah.
He
Exactly.
he takes off his boot. He's put his soy milk into his soy cornflakes.
Oh
Eating
no.
his soy bread. You
Yeah.
know, as they say in that Johnny Bravo episode with the girl that was on a model of soy or something. So what are you going to say in your speech? Well, that I hope for a world peace and a world completely made out of soy.
Ew.
Ew, I would say. Ew.
Do you know that people that are from our part of the world and some other parts of the world that are more from our side can actually digest and assimilate soy the way that people from Asia can. So they can actually a lot better use soy as food, but we can't. It's not good for us. Actually, it creates a lot of issues, stomach issues, sometimes even hormonal issues. Don't quote me on that, but there has been some studies and I tried such milk, I always had issues. So I just drink normal cow milk and I have no issues. Okay, guys.
Okay, up to the next one.
Up to the next one.
I'll get some comments in the meantime.
Do
Suka says, a really great thing. There has been so much coping and seating. What was it? Yes. Over James Gunn's horrible performance with all three of his failures. Totally, Suka, you're right. And you're very right about he ruined Ultraman, Bizarro, and Superman's tragic clone in one move. That's James Gunn for you. Johnny Bravo is a classic, yes.
Yeah, we love Johnny Bravo.
Exactly, yes.
Absolutely love him.
James Gunn, Nate says, James Gunn, Superman got spanked by everyone in the movie. They should have rebranched the movie and made a Superboy flick. I mean, kind of, it really feels like Superboy, but if we go back to that 90s show for Superboy, even that guy was better than this Superman. He was actually Superman just called Superboy because they couldn't use the name Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great indeed.
Okay, guys. Gotta continue.
Next one. Ooh, we get to a good one.
Okay, just let me open this a bit more so you can see the full thing. And we continue. This is gonna be interesting.
Indeed.
Okay.
We prepared great things for you guys.
Oh, yes. So, guys, we have the best actors who played Superman ranked. Based on what? Well, we're gonna see now. So, leaping onto the screen is a single bound. is just the start. A character who debuted in 1938, Superman, stirs a sense of awe and wonder among fans of all ages, from comic books to the silver screen and beyond. Well, except people that are super cynical and don't understand Superman to begin with, don't really know who he is, but okay. A handful of talented actors have brought the legendary Superman to life over the years. Undoubtedly.
Undoubtedly.
These, undoubtedly, those stepping into the oversized boots of his mighty figure carry a weighty cape.
Well, some get the boots off, so you know.
Yeah, some just, yeah.
Yeah.
There's actually pictures of Henry Cavill's Man of Steel manly boots that follow the lines of his muscles, and the boots of David Cornsweat that looks like
My grandma's boots.
something like a Santa.
You
Santa
know,
boots.
rubber boots for rain that some people
Yeah,
wear
yeah.
outside when it's raining.
Rubber boots for for rain. The lineup of actors taking on the role of Superman features some of the industry's finest talents, each offering a unique spin on the Man of Steel's timeless persona. They've molded Clark Kent's Kal-El in their own image, breathing fresh nuances into an almost century-old character. Each actor's commitment, charisma, and ability to portray Superman's vast spectrum of traits, his strength, kindness, intelligence, and undying vulnerability, sets them apart in the annals of superhero lore. And yes, his vulnerability is all about the people that he loves and the people that he wants to protect. That is how he is actually vulnerable.
Not because of his feelings
Not-
that were hurt
Not because of his
by the internet memes
his
from the
amazing
monkeys
physique.
and, you know,
It's
yeah.
not about how unbeatable he is, because he is beatable, but the thing is that he's not so overpowered as actually people think. That's the
Exactly, yeah,
thing.
yeah. That's the
Because
thing, yeah.
everything hurts him. All the suffering that humanity deals with every day hurts him. That's his actual
Exactly.
kryptonite.
He can hear that, he can feel that.
And he has to bear the weight that he can actually go and be everywhere.
Yeah.
As a prime example, Christopher Reeve's portrayal remains a hallmark of superhero cinema. His embodiment of both Clark Kent's charm and Superman's bravado left an enduring legacy. Henry Cavill, with his brooding interpretation, it's not actually brooding.
It's not actually.
Interpretation introduced a modern, complex Man of Steel that resonates with the new generation. Meanwhile, Tom Welling's depiction of Smallville, which is the most soy ever, not even Superman,
It's not even Superman.
present
Yeah.
a young Clark Kent grappling with his emerging powers, which he didn't want, and he complained, bitch and moaned.
Yeah.
A dramatic shift in perspective that added depth to the Superman mythos. Well, not really. They actually want to make Clark Kent, not Clark Kent's, but his actual parents from Krypton, the same as what James Gunn did. But I don't know if anybody remembers that.
As the Empress said very good a couple of months ago in a meme, watching Smallville is like 10 years of edging.
Yes, 10 years of edging. Oh,
10
thank
years
you.
of
I
edging,
forgot
yeah.
that I said that.
Oh, I'll never forget that. That's a a great quote right there.
Yeah, 10 years of edging, but you never come. You never come.
Never.
That's how Smallville is. That's like the embodiment of Smallville. It's 10 years of freaking edging, and
Exactly.
you cannot
And
even
just
come
at the
end.
moment you think that you will, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
because he finally gets to the top of the building to do this, and you say,
That's it.
that's it.
And then you see him CGI from a distance, like as far as away as possible.
Yeah.
Because God forbid,
God forbid. Yeah.
freaking Tom Welling with his whole ego could not fit into that costume.
No,
He could
couldn't.
not. He just didn't want to do it.
Also, he gained weight at that time too. I
But
think.
okay, let's say they're gonna try to make it work. He didn't want to wear it. Explicitly said, "No, I don't want to actually be Superman." If you don't want to be Superman, you have to get out of here.
Get out of
You're
here.
not worthy.
Get
You're
out.
not worthy. He
Yeah.
played his role well for what it was, but god damn it, that's not Superman.
No.
Superman is
Totally
not a
not.
guy that's afraid of his nature, and he's not gonna be able to come out as Superman. The guy was like 35 or whatever,
Yeah.
not even Superman yet. And at the end, when you're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna see him. What is this?
Yeah.
You took Brandon Routh's top part of the costume
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you just did
You
this?
just did this.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Get out of here!
totally.
Soy!
10 years of aging.
Soy! 10 years of edging on a t-shirt. And then the picture of
Oh,
Smallville
Smallville, exactly,
below.
exactly. That's it.
Make that into a t-shirt.
You did a picture of that, I think.
Oh yeah, I think
Right?
I did
Yeah.
it.
We have
Yeah,
to
I think
find
I
it
did
actually.
something. Yes. Okay. Each actor's performance is a testament to their individual strength, decisively capturing the essence of a character etched in our collective consciousness. The enduring popularity of Superman images on the actors who've embodied the challenge of bringing him to life, from radio dramas to animated series and blockbuster films. These thespians continue to carry the torch and impact future interpretations. Which we gotta stop with the interpretation stuff
Yeah, yeah.
because
We gotta just show Superman, you know.
it's one thing to have Henry Cavill Superman be Superman as Superman is supposed to be, but put him in a very bad world and see what happens. That's different. That's the construction, but it's the construction of the world, not Superman.
Not Superman,
Something
yeah.
that people just don't understand, don't know. Actually, this is not the construction of Superman. This is the construction of the world. In James Gunn, we see the construction of Superman, not of the world, because
Exactly,
the
not of the
world is
world.
what you think that Superman should be in,
Yeah.
kinda, excluding the super cynical superhero team that's out there with the Green Lantern
Jesus
that's
Christ,
out of anybody's nightmares, excluding that, but it's supposed to be the lighter world, whatever, it's supposed to be the Superman world, but Superman is not the same. He's the deconstruction.
Yes,
That him.
exactly. That right there.
He's a soy. He's the one that
So
takes crap from everyone, can freaking outpace and be faster than Lex Luthor, who just yells commands so the other guy can hit him. How can Lex Luthor yell commands faster than how Superman can react and think? He can yell the command and the other guy has to do it. That takes like freaking seconds.
yeah,
Like
yeah, totally.
B1 and then B1 and then we have the hit. Superman can perceive that before he did it. That the other guy is very fast as well, but he still is and basically restricted from to a human level because the one guy that pushes his buttons, that yells the commands, is a man.
Even
Do you realize that?
when we watch one episode of Superman the animated series with my son, who by the way, guys, he's 12 and he still gets those things. There was a scene in that episode that someone was calling for help and they show how Superman hears it, and he said, "Oh yeah, he can actually do that." So he said, "Well, so why in the movie actually he didn't hear the guy yelling the commands?"
Yeah.
And I
Why?
said, "Well, if a 12-year-old can ask me that." So
Yes, because he actually can hear. I mean, have you ever been to a person who had like a headphone in his ear or somewhere else? You can actually hear it
actually
if you're
hear that,
close
yeah.
enough to this person. You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
actually hear it. Let alone Superman, who can hear kilometers away. Like no matter how far it is, he can hear like pretty far away. So how is this any different? It's like next to him.
Next to him,
It's like
totally.
next to him.
Exactly,
If
yeah.
Logan now talks with somebody on the phone, I will hear him. Just standing like here, I
I
will
mean,
hear him.
also, guys, imagine if freaking Daredevil, can hear the whole city crying and things like that, so that he actually has to sleep in that water, like in the movie.
And he's just a man.
If he can hear that and he's just a man because of his radar sense, what will happen with Superman?
He will know
How he wouldn't hear
everything.
that? Yeah, I mean,
that is
also,
happening.
if that Lex Luthor is that smart, he would know. Wait, he can hear my commands. So if he really researched him all that good for those 3 years or whatever, shouldn't he do something about that then? So that, but James Gunn thinks, no, just yell the command. That's it. Yeah. No powers. Oh, I forget that but he didn't forget about the freaking hypno glasses. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's see now those guys.
And then we're gonna reply to your comments, guys.
Yes.
So first of all, of course, is Christopher Reeve because he's still considered the pinnacle of Superman. I mean, okay, we agree with that, although he does not encompass all aspects
I
of
mean,
Superman.
yeah, I would argue really that I would put Henry Cavill once on the first place. So we will explain why when we go to there. But that's, as we say, the Superman, how he was portrayed in comic books in the 60s and the 70s, and he plays exactly that Superman, you know. And I'm thankful for that version because that was the first movie that I watched with him. But then, as I said, I dig deeper and I said, okay, so this is just a particular aspect of Superman from the 60s and the 70s, you know. And he plays that really well. And I love that version, of course. And he was a great person who actually had to become really a real life superhero in his life, which not many people could do.
It's still not
Especially see
the
what happened
complete
to him.
version of
But
Superman.
it's still not a complete version, really. We can't just
Just
as I
be
said,
nostalgic
just be
and
nostalgic.
forget about
Exactly. Exactly.
actual reality of the
Now,
situation.
if we get something better than actually Henry Cavill's portrayal, we always say now that's better because it gives even more. I would say that if we get it.
Of course, we're not
Totally.
attached to it.
Yeah, no.
We just want what's the best.
Just
like.
for the moment, that's the best version. Now, if we go to the cartoons, that will be the animated one.
I mean that word the word itself version is not
Exactly.
we're just
Exactly.
not okay
we
with
just
it.
have to stop with that. We can't excuse everything. Well, that this is a version from another world, or no, because people had excuse for that even about that new horrible Spider-Man cartoon. They say, but they show that this is in a different version, and I say, but man, I just want to see Spider-Man. Enough with those different versions. A friend of mine who likes the My Adventures with Superman also told me, but they show in, maybe you like it because they show in that cartoon that this is a different world. And I say, man, exactly that's my problem. You put me off even more now.
Yeah, we
If they
don't
show
want
that means that I don't want to see that version. Because it's a different version.
There shouldn't be a version.
And actually, he's kind of sorry that My Adventures with Superman, because again, he has to find out his powers. He broke a freaking sink because he was
and he has electricity now
nervous about
for some reason.
again. Jesus Christ.
I mean the new animation,
He
the
had
new Adventures
electricity?
of Superman. He has some kind of electricity powers.
Really?
Yeah.
I forget that.
We saw that.
Oh, that was in the very first episode.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, you're
You
right.
forgot that.
Because it was that bad.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. We continue with.
We gotta
So
continue.
Christopher Reeve, of course.
So Christopher Reeve, yeah, the only problem is that this is not a complete version of
Yeah,
Superman.
it's just a particular.
It's just
version.
very nostalgic, beautiful version that just not enough, and it's not what Superman is in his entirety.
Yes.
So number 2, Henry Cavill. Of course, this is
course.
the Superman that's masculine and all of that. He is just put in this horrible situation, and of course, I see your comment there, Suka, that he's not supposed to be dragged in a cynical world. This is just what Zack Snyder wanted to do, so we can believe in Superman once again. So that was kind of the idea.
Also, don't forget, as we say in our video, actually, the very first one, that's not the first time they do that. John Byrne also did it in his comic book Man of Steel, which was like, again, a reinvention of Superman for the new, I was going to say modern, but that's horrible, for the new audience. That he also changed the world there. Superman was essentially again Superman, but he changed the world because it was 1986, and he said we can't have the world from the 1930s. That was a different world there.
Exactly. Sometimes you do have to actually
people are not,
change the world.
hunky dory everywhere. And
I mean, the point is to make the
change.
character compelling. That's
Exactly.
the point.
Yeah.
And Christopher Reeve's pureness, nostalgic, whatever feeling, is just not gonna work today. It's not gonna be believable because
Exactly.
we're not living in a world that is like that. I'm not saying to show everything that our world has to offer, because our world sucks monkey balls, and we know about the stupid woke mindset, the feminism. I don't want those things in our movies like Zack Snyder actually put them. And not Zack Snyder,
James Gunn
actually put them. I don't want the Instagram stupidity. I want just the core human experience, how they are and their day-to-day lives.
Exactly.
Not as dark as what Zach did. Something that has a bit more balance, so not complete realism.
It must be like a combination. You take Christopher Reeve and you take Henry Cavill and you
Put
squish them together.
Yeah.
And then we have it perfectly. So people who make movies should learn for that. Let's see what we have. Okay, so people like this aspect of this Superman from 1978, then this from Henry Cavill, and you do it.
Yeah, let's make him a bit more, maybe to have a positive look on the world despite being so put down by the world, despite how he is seen it. He has to prove himself and all those things. So make that aspect a bit more positive. But Zach wanted to dig deep in our nature and how we see things and how we were going to perceive such a amazing, humanoid with powers.
Humanoid with powers, exactly.
And all of that. So that was his idea. He did get things wrong. in the sense that he also presented him as a Jesus figure, which
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
actually a Moses figure.
Yeah.
He's not
He was
a
inspired
Jesus.
by Moses, actually.
Yeah, he's not a Jesus figure. So those things are a bit confused and messed up. So it's all about how the director thinks that people are gonna resonate with Superman, and that is the fault of the director because they always mess something up.
Yeah, yeah.
They always mess something up. So
The-
that is why we say that the best version of Superman that we actually already have is the animated series.
Yes, exactly. Watch that video too.
Yeah,
You know,
we did a
yeah.
special video about the animated
Exactly.
series and what makes Superman Superman to the T.
Exactly.
And you
yes.
can see actually the perfect version of Superman is right there. It's not this version. This is the better version for the movies.
For movies, but
But complete Superman,
for media that
we
we can
didn't.
watch actually.
We actually don't have that.
Yeah.
We don't actually have that in live action yet. This is close, but it's
Yeah.
not fully
And
what it is.
even
you
don't
think?
forget the guys who made the Superman animated show, or the ones who made the Batman animated show, but they were not big fans of Superman. They said that it's on record there, but still they did their job. They got who Superman is. They got who Clark Kent should be. They got all the characters. They got who is Lois Lane. And they could even manage to center an episode around her, but still with Superman there being very important. It wasn't, oh, this is just her story now. No, it wasn't.
Superman was still the center, and Lois showed her amazing character depth, what she can do, how she thinks, but Superman was number one, and
exactly.
whatever she did because of him, and how he saw the world was because of her.
Yeah. And they
profound.
They even show in very few scenes they show the connection between him and Lois. For example, when Batman appears and she actually decides to get with Bruce Wayne, and Superman was kind of angry, but Bruce Wayne told him, "As far as I understand, you had your chance." And he was like, "Yeah." But then in the end, Batman understands actually, wait, you're actually the one who can take care of good of her. They really show you that in just three episodes that they combine the two heroes, and you say, great. And someone said in episodes that they never, they were shying away from the love connection between Superman and Lois and Seven. That's not true. They show you in some episodes. The fact that they don't show them kissing or saying it doesn't mean
that they don't have connection.
Doesn't mean they don't have it.
The connection is expressed by the way that they're interacting
Yeah.
and the hurdles that they're facing together.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's continue because we don't really have time.
Yeah.
So number 3 is David Cornsweet.
They couldn't even find a proper picture of
Yeah,
Superman.
that is
Okay,
like
I mean,
5 years ago when he was 25. He was that's a picture I think around the exact time where he was in Hollywood, which is a Netflix TV show that I watched. And back then Henry Cavill was still Superman, but I said, and that's in a stream of mine on my 40K channel somewhere, that if there's ever some actor that has to, for some reason, replace Henry Cavill because we had no idea that any of this is gonna happen, let it be him because he looks like the most of Superman, but he has to make a lot of muscle and feel his face because he's just too tan in the face and everywhere else. I said that. I actually suggested him that from all the actors that I have seen, all of a sudden this guy appears, he has the blue eyes, he has the face. I think that he's going to be a great replacement. Well, fast forward till today, I got it.
Yeah.
But not actually now I don't want it
We
because I
just
know what
didn't get
happened.
a good material, yeah.
I know what happened.
I
so
still
it's
think that
kinda
if they
sad.
if they give him a good material, he will be okay.
He'll be okay.
Just not to be this. Give him a good suit. Give him a better script. Give him a better story, better director, and everything else.
Yeah,
and
he had
he'll
all
do
the
it.
good intentions
Yeah,
to be great
yeah.
Superman, but he was given bad script,
Yeah.
bad suit. And actually, guys, James Gunn, he doesn't frame his shots like Zack Snyder does. He actually showed him in a very not complimentary shots. Many times he looked ugly. He didn't look handsome. And he
Exactly,
could
yeah.
be very handsome. Like at the end of the movie when he's talking to Lois, he's like, Miss Lane. Then you actually see Superman in that scene. How he talks, how he looks. The scene where he enters the Fortress of... No, I don't think that's what just in behind the scenes, but actually we never see in the movie how he walks. He looks great despite the suit in that shot. Then they kiss, all that. That's the only place that you can see that that's Superman. Yeah, we gotta get the gold.
Here there is a Superman over here, yes.
It's a super gold.
Yeah, so we never had that.
Yes. So David Carswet again could be good if he's given a very good material. So we don't actually have anything against him, but he did try to correct James Gunn. We saw that behind the scenes shots where he's like, "But James, I don't understand what I have to do. Why Superman like this?"
Why would he say it? Because you hurt my feelings. Yeah.
And James Gunn had to pat him on the back and explain something that made no sense at all. And
Yeah.
David has to say okay and be hyped up because James Gunn is a director and he really wants this job.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that David had to pretend to be convinced and he convinced himself that he's convinced
Yeah,
because
yeah,
otherwise he
yeah.
wouldn't be able to be there and take all of that crap and nonsense from James
So
Gunn.
I would put him a bit lower, in that. I would still put I see that Tom Welling is next, but as I said, Tom Welling shouldn't be in that ranking at all because he
At all.
was never Superman.
Let's move on to Tom freaking
Yes.
Welling.
Well,
Again, he's not Superman. He never
never.
wanted to be Superman. He spit on Superman like
Yeah.
so many times. Now he wants to be Superman because it
He has
became more.
nothing else to do.
Yeah, he has nothing really else to do. And he said to his son that he would love to dress as Superman as Halloween. Now he wants to put on the suit. Now,
Now when he's
after
fat.
25 years or
Yeah.
whatever, when he looks very bad. Well, Kristen Kirk, Lana Lang looks amazing. She
Yeah.
didn't age today. She's really sustaining herself and takes care of herself, but he doesn't. He
He
doesn't.
doesn't. Yeah.
He just looks like a huge square. That's it.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
he's
so
he's
cute.
a square anyway. So yeah, as we say, he shouldn't be here at all. If you ask me,
Yeah, he
I
just-
would actually put Gerard Christopher, who played Superboy in Superboy the TV show, higher than him.
Yeah, because he was actually
He
a
actually-
Superman.
yeah,
Although
he's
he was
actually
30 years
Superman,
old playing Superman.
He played Superboy. Yeah. So.
Yeah, so he looks. I mean, he would been a great Superman, but he wanted to have nothing to do with
Yeah,
Superman.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, next we have Taylor Hoechlin, who played Superman for like one of the longest times that anybody has ever seen. I don't think that anybody played Superman as long as he did,
I think not.
because he was on screen
I
more time in
mean,
terms of hours compared to everyone else, pretty much.
Maybe Dean Cain, because wasn't his show longer, more seasons, more episodes?
Oh
Maybe
yes,
that.
you're right. Maybe
Yeah.
Dean Cain
Maybe
did him.
him, yeah. I'd say.
So I would put actually Dean Cain maybe third. I would put.
I would put him probably third. Yeah.
Okay, I would put like Henry Cavill first, Christopher Reeve second because of all the reasons that we just explained. Dean Cain third, maybe.
I think Dean Cain third.
David
should be,
Cornswet fourth. Dominic
Yeah.
will not be here because sorry, Vladimir Kovacevic, we see you there, but he didn't. He never became Superman, and he didn't want to put the suit,
No.
so he doesn't count.
Sorry. Yeah.
He literally didn't want to have anything to do with Superman,
Yeah.
and the whole show was made around his negative feelings about not being Superman.
He was the Blur.
The Blur. Like I've said, and I'm gonna repeat that for the new guys that just came in. Watching Smallville and not ever seeing that he fully becomes Superman, only seeing this scene and only seeing the CGI from 200 meters away of him becoming Superman, that is like 10 years of edging,
Exactly.
and you can never come.
Never.
That's how it
Never.
is. I'm sorry for this
Never.
analogy, but this is exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it
You
is.
couldn't wait. You couldn't wait. Yes, yes.
Exactly.
No, oh no,
No.
it's not Superman. Oh,
No, not yet. Not now. Oh, okay.
and your PP dies.
And your PP dies. Yeah.
So David Hoechlin, I think that he gave
Tyler.
his Tyler, sorry.
Tyler.
Yeah, I'm mixing up everyone now. So Taylor Hoechlin, he looks great overall, but in the same time
He doesn't.
he had to, train a lot more when he actually made Lois and Clark. He looked great underneath, great physical. The face, he never had a face for Superman. Actually, he's not
the
pretty
face part
enough.
was it, yeah.
His teeth are messed up. It's just not good for Superman in that kind of a way. And the way that he put his heart out in this role, yes, of course, he's great Superman. But how he looks, no. Which we also have to have in mind because he was too weak. And they had to pad his costume so much for
Yeah.
him to look any bigger than he actually is. But that padding this time was not anatomically correct. Like his head was usually looking like a twig, and his shoulders were so much broader than they should be. Look like Shazam, first costume of Shazam almost. It was not a good look, but it's one thing to take the actor's actual body, like the Flash with John,
Yeah.
and to actually mold the costume exactly. to his body, but it's totally different to make something huge and bulky that looks totally weird and unnatural like they did in that. And this was the previous costume that we see here from Supergirl. That's
Yeah.
like monkey balls. His ass looked huge, so they put so much padding on his ass instead
Maybe
of
because as
to make it
the animated voice Lane said in the very first episode, nice ass. Excuse me, the ass on his chest.
aha.
Yeah, yeah.
So Taylor Hoechlin. I mean,
Not so high, we say.
no,
Really. Yeah.
he's okay number 5, pretty much. He's okay number
Okay,
5.
for number 5, yeah.
Yeah, so Tim Daly, who actually voiced Superman the animated series, well, I don't know how he looks like, but
I mean, he looks rather okay, but not for Superman. But I mean, if you have to, I think that voice actors with, don't know, probably there should be a different one because there are many voice actors of Superman. There probably should be another category for that. Not that I
yeah, because he's a
don't
voice
understand what
actor.
but that's a voice actor. Yes, I mean we saw what Kevin Conroy could do as Batman when they put him in that horrible crossover. So no, he's a great voice actor, of course. Tim Daly, yeah, you can hear Superman, and that animated version that is really the best animation version, as we said.
Animated
But
version ever, yeah.
yeah, but as portrayal, I think they should be separate. Voice actors should be
Totally separate.
in their separate thing, so that we actually appreciate them even more.
Yeah.
Now, the Empress is a voice actress.
Oh, thank
we
you.
say, you do have a role. I'm kind of, but I wouldn't want to be put in a category for actors for that because voice acting is a totally different thing.
Yeah, it's totally different. It's actually harder than normal acting.
It's actually
to a point
harder
because
than normal
you
acting,
gotta scream on a mic alone in a room.
and we can see it when you put normal actors to be voice actors in some roles, and people just think that people will watch it because the actor is the main voice, and they say, but they can't really do it. That's a totally different thing, and it always happens like that. I mean, if you give a famous actor, let's say if you take Brad Pitt to be the voice of Superman, you know that it's him. they can't do it exactly. Not all of them are that good.
Yeah, thanks, Vladimir. Yeah, this is my Pomeranian gold, classical Pomeranian. So next we have George Reeves, who, I mean, how is this Superman really?
I mean, this is again
hard to
just
say.
the version from the time. This is
It's like my grandfather. He kind of looks like my grandfather.
Yes,
basically.
yeah. It's a product of its time, guys. It shouldn't be again all that high. If you ask me, it's a great portrayal, of course.
My grandfather was handsome, by the way.
but this is again Superman portrayed how he was in the 50s and what was the perception of the people in the 50s for that show. I watched them, of course. As I said, I go deep to all of those things. I watch it so that I'll be able to talk.
You can see the padding just crushing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Just folding here.
If there is anything that people say that he's a Boy Scout, this one is the most Boy Scouts out of them all, by the way. But even he doesn't do all that much in those shows, in the movie that he had.
It was just the times.
It was the times, yes.
You cannot have an accurate representation of Superman because he grown as a character. He has grown as a character since then a lot. He came into his own, and whatever we see here is just Superman at that point in time, which cannot be the full presentation of Superman. So he did whatever he could for the time
what they gave me.
I mean, huge respect because this was very new at the time. It was unprecedented.
Yeah,
he has superhero on the screen.
Tragic story after that.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta really move on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're not going to go to all of them, I think. George Newbern, who replaced Tim Daly in the Justice League cartoons and forward to that, he pretty much sounds like Tim Daly.
Yeah,
At first, I
didn't
couldn't
know
find that he's replaced. Yeah. Tim Daly couldn't do it, so I think he had some scheduling, and they decided we need a new guy, and George Newbern was actually the next guy who replaced him. Sounds pretty much the same. Sounds pretty much Superman. I mean, I would put him with Tim Daly because they really sound. It's not. You can't feel the difference like if you replace Kevin Conroy with someone else. Because every time he was replaced in different Batman projects, you know that it's not Kevin Conroy.
Your brain.
Exactly.
Burns.
But this guy here, even my son, when I show him the cartoon, and he recognized voices, guys. He has that talent just like me. And but here nothing. He heard him in the Justice League and he said, "Is that the same guy?" And he said, "No, it's different." Oh, really? Good. He sounds the same. So yeah, George Newbern doing his best team daily.
Great,
So,
great stuff, great
yeah.
stuff. Again, this should be separate.
Yes.
This should be separate. Number 9, Brandon Routh, who was, he did whatever he could for that movie, but the movie was boring.
Problem with that movie is that it was boring, and problem is that this had to be set the
Same universe as Christopher Reeve. They
This was
never
supposed to be the
should have done
Christopher
this.
Reeve, and they
Yes.
basically said, "You're Christopher Reeve," and I
That's
said,
horrible.
"That's
Yeah,
horrible
just
for
don't
the
do
actor."
it. Had to do like totally different movie, and it would be nice. But they try to not show Superman being Superman for most of the movie,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
don't appreciate that. I don't like the costume because it tries to choke him like right here. The cape is so dark; it's basically brown,
Yeah.
and it's like trying to poke holes into his freaking neck. It's just
And,
so tight. It looks horrible. Logo is small, so
too
small.
yeah.
And the costume did had some padding, but not enough.
Not enough. Yeah.
And the trunks are okay because they're at least smaller and have some aesthetic design, and they go with the whole suit very well. But this is what at least James Gunn should have done. At least he should have
At least
had
that,
this
yeah.
costume as an example.
Yeah. And
Because the
also,
trunks were done better there.
I had a friend who said, this is the best scene in cinema when they shoot and they show how the bullet gets into his eye, but it's squished. Do you know how much they spent for that scene? And I say that doesn't make the movie any better because it's the only interesting scene.
Yeah, it doesn't make it. I mean,
Yeah.
it adds to it, but
I mean,
it's not
yeah,
supposed to
yeah.
be what makes the
It's not
movie
the
or
main
breaks
thing.
it.
And also, but Brendan Routh showed that he can actually do a better job in that horrible crossover again, which he was
did
the only
great.
highlight there as
Like
the
a Kingdom Come Superman.
Kingdom Come
He
Superman.
was
He was
good.
great.
He
Yeah.
was good,
So
man.
he proved that just give me my original thing, just give me a real Superman, not Christopher Reeve Superman, and he will do it.
Yeah, and he actually looked better in that costume.
Right?
And the costume was
Yeah.
very good.
The
That
costume was
TV
very
show
good.
costume, it was very good
The
costume.
only highlight in that horrible,
Yeah.
horrible crossover which we had to
It
go
has just
through.
the normal amount of padding.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Dean Cain, number 10.
Dean Cain, he was my childhood Superman. We get all the shows in Bulgaria like in the 2000s, just to let you know. So I watched this in the 2000s, and he was my childhood Superman. He really embodied Superman for me, for
They
what
also show it in the 90s before that.
Okay. For what I know of Superman, this for me was Superman.
Dean Cain, yeah.
Dean Cain. That's how I was used to seeing Superman.
Yeah, he was greatly portrayed here, and the great connection with Lois and Clark.
He was handsome.
He was handsome.
He didn't have that much of a physique actually,
No.
unfortunately. But the costume was a bit more upgraded to Christopher Reeve, and at the same time it wasn't. I mean, some parts of it are better, some parts are worse. Like the logo is looking like a plush toy slapped on his front side. I like the blue. I like this blue more
This
than
blue is
the
better, yeah.
lighter blue.
Yeah.
But the Superman blue is like this blue,
Yeah,
like this right now.
exactly.
It's not this. This is too dark, too royal blue.
Mm.
So this is more like Superman blue. It's not the lightest one, but it's in the middle between this and the Christopher Reeve's blue.
Yeah.
It's a great Superman.
So yeah, great Superman,
what
great
it
show
was.
actually. I would watch that show more than any of the modern stuff. that I have here,
absolutely. Then we have Jack Quaid, who you know what annoys me so much? That this looks like Jack Quaid.
Exactly.
And Jack
And
Quaid
this
is not a manly man.
And this is
He
something
looks
that I said
horrible.
before in one of our videos when we talked about Invincible. Jesus Christ, stop drawing the characters like the actors who voice them. Because again, Invincible Mark, who is not half Asian, it's made to be half Asian in the show because Steven Yeun is half Korean and
Yes,
he's voicing him.
stop it.
His mother is voiced by Sandra Oh, and she's made to look like her. Just stop
it.
with
Actors
that.
supposed to be actors.
You
They're
know.
supposed to do their job and present the character on screen. We are not supposed to see the opposite, like the character to fit the actor. This is lunacy.
Yeah.
This is lunacy. Is not supposed to happen.
Also, this is not a great Superman again because we said they established that this is a different version. They show like a multiverse thingy, so why would I care if it's not the real Superman? And they made it as this coming of age Superman story. And a friend of mine who likes it said, I like it because it's a coming of age Superman story like in the fantasy books. And I said, but this ain't no fantasy, man. Superman, it's not about that. want to see Superman when he's actually Superman. Otherwise, again, you're making Superboy or Super Soy. How do you say for that? Yeah. So again, Jack Wade, he does a voice, yes, but it's nowhere near Tim Daly or even George Newbern.
I mean, we like
yeah.
him in freaking
The Boys.
The Boys,
Yeah.
but
he was also good in the Scream. Which one was it? 6, 5, 7, 6. In some of the Scream movies, he was there too. It's okay as an actor. Would I put him here? Hell no.
Okay, I just want to say huge thank you to Richard.
Oh,
Whoever Richard is in the chat, because he sent me like $10.
thank you, Richard, whoever you are.
Thank you
If
so
you're in the
much.
chat,
I'm
yeah.
gonna salute you just a second.
Mhm.
I'm going through things. Okay. Okay, Richard, Wonder Woman salute. Thank you for sending me that on PayPal. Thank you so. Thank you.
Good. And I think that the rest we can just skim through them because they should be voice actors or something else.
And
we
again,
can
that's
call it
not
a day.
Superman for me.
Yes.
Sorry, that's soy.
Yeah.
Okay, we have
Donnie
Donnie
Dark
Dark.
from the
I
these
actually
are
never
Superman
watched
cartoons.
this.
Yes. No, that's very old from the 60s or 70s. Not worded really campy. No.
Okay, Noah North
Noah North, he voiced him in some of the
movies.
animated things like the Lego movies, in Young Justice. Young Justice is great, but Superman is not all that prevalent there, so that we actually say so. Noah North, he voices Superman there and Superboy, the clone, the Connor Kent. So that's why he's also Superman, because he's a clone and he has to have the same voice. But that's it.
Yeah.
But
I never even seen this.
But Collier voiced him originally in the radio show from the 40s. He is also the voice of him in the Fleischer cartoons. It's again Bud Collier, and then he voiced him in Superman and Aquaman Adventure Hour, which are just shorts of Superman and Aquaman cartoons. The very first guy who actually did the difference between voices, because on the radio you have to hear the difference. So when he was Clark Kent, he was, voice, I need to do something now, voice, and then it was, this looks like a job for Superman.
Yeah, cool.
He was the very first who actually established the different voices when he's Superman and he's. A lot of people think that's Kevin Conroy. No, it was Bud Collier. Yeah. So okay, he could be here, but again, I think it should be separate category.
What happens, Suka? Because you say I can't see the super chat, I want to congratulate the guy. The donation was through PayPal, so that's why you can't see it.
That's why you can't see it.
It's not a super chat; it's a PayPal donation. If that's what you are referring to, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kirk Allen,
the very first live-action Superman in the short.
With bigger pants than anyone.
Bigger pants
bigger than his torso, almost.
Because those were the pants, yeah.
Those are the pants for the victory dance.
Exactly.
Because Baboon's better than Weasel.
Exactly,
You're Baboon, big star of cartoon.
Yeah.
I am Weasel.
I mean, by now we go pretty much into obscurity with all these versions, because, in there. Nothing.
What the heck is
Jason G. Lewis from Justice League Action, which are the short cartoons. Bo Weaver in the Super Friends, I think it was. Yeah.
Here it is.
John Newton, who played Superman but Superboy in the first season of Superboy, the show.
He needs to train.
Really,
so
he was
skinny.
good looking, but he needs to train a lot. He was just in the first. The only thing I would make here as a difference, I put Gerard Christopher higher than him. I would mix them, because Gerard Christopher played a lot and he really did a better job. Actually, he had the time to establish the character.
And that curl is amazing,
and
by
that
the
curl
way.
is amazing.
But he needs to train again.
He really had difference when he was Clark Kent. Again, it was really different. He was the geeky
he
Clark
has blue
Kent.
eyes.
And actually, fun fact, he went on a casting for Lois and Clark, and he was chosen instead of Dean Kent, but he hid that he played Superboy in his resume. And when they found out, they said, "No, you already have done this. Get out of here." And he said, "Oh." But the fact that he actually got the role means a lot.
Yeah, he looks good there.
Yuri Lowenthal, who is the voice of Ben 10 and Spider-Man in the Insomniac games.
What is this Superman? He looks like somebody chewed him and spit him up.
Because this is Superboy. This is in the cartoon Legion of Heroes, where he gets, he's still Superboy, but the Legion of Heroes come from the future and they take him into the future with them. He's still Superboy at that time. That actually happens in comic books. So the whole time he's Superboy, essentially. Yuri is a great actor. But that's again Superboy. And that's again a voice actor. Yeah.
And David Wilson.
have no idea actually who that is.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's another task. Okay, we're done.
Okay,
I
okay.
think
So
we're
we are
done.
done. We're done.
Okay.
Great. So as we say, we would just change some things like Henry to be 1, Christopher leave 2, and
Yes.
from then on, yeah,
Then on.
exactly.
Gold is
Great.
complaining behind the green screen.
Okay. So we have to go anyway.
Yes, we got it. Yeah, we got it. Yes, dear cousin, I see your. I really have to get to the emojis. If I can make more, the more members I have, the more emojis I can do. So we'll see about that. And eventually, when we actually monetize the superhero channel, I'll be able to do things there as well. So, guys, we had actually more topics, but we just don't have time to go through them. So we have to be happy with these topics, and we're gonna try to do the other topics as soon as possible. So thank you so much, guys, for watching and for the support. If you haven't, please subscribe to the superhero channel, Superhero Truth, where we're going to have content now every week.
Yeah.
And we're gonna discuss everything that happens for the future of the DC universe when it comes to the movies and whatever else we can bring. All the superheroes, Marvel as well, we cover
Yeah, all the
everything.
superheroes.
And of course, if you're interested in Warhammer 40k, you can check the Warhammer 40k channel, which is the 40k Empress, which is me. Everything about Warhammer 40k and the news there. And of course, G Hammer Empress, which is all about gaming. So thank you so much, guys. Love ya. Until next time with me and of course, Logan. Bye bye.
The 40k Empress leads the way as warriors of the imperium sway into realms where dangers play, where hidden minds hold sway. Through stars and storms we rise, under her watchful eyes, with faith and fire will prevail, for the imperium must not fail. For the imperium we prevail. Beneath the grand cathedral spires, plots twist like smoldering fires, but with her blade of pure desire, she claims the stars entire. Through stars and storms we rise, under her watchful eyes, with faith and fire will prevail, for the imperium must not fail. For the imperium we prevail. Through warp storms and battle cries, her banners pierce the darkened skies. With bolter hymns the traitor dies, as loyal warriors arise. Saints and psychers bend the flame, every world speaks her